This video will help you to make a super cute, super chunky beanie in about 40 to 45 minutes. This one is made from Honeyberry and this one is made from Midwinter Fire. So yeah, watch along. So let's get started. So I have chosen a super chunky, a size 9mm hook, Folly Garden in Honeyberry, and it is absolutely beautiful. So let's get started. We need to start with a magic ring. This is my size 9mm hook. It's a clover and more. There's our magic ring. And we need to chain 2. Then we're going to do 7 double crochets into the magic ring. Now I use American terms. If you are using UK terms, then it will be treble. So there's 1, 2. I'm so not used to using big yarn. 3. I'm just going to tighten my magic ring so I don't lose the tail. 4. 5. 6. 7. So we should, including the chain 3 at the start, we should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Now we're going to tighten the magic ring, and what we're going to do next is we are going to slip stitch to join to the top of the chain. So just in there, and we are going to do a chain 2, 1, 2. In that same stitch you are going to do another double. This is an increase round, so we're going to do a double in every stitch. So at the end we should have 16. So that's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16, and then we are going to slip stitch to the top of the chain again. Try and go through both the loops, I would, otherwise it makes it look a bit gappy. There we go. So slip stitch there. That's the end of the second round, and that is the right way out. So you want the noodle in the bowl, that'll be the right way round, look. So then next we have got a chain 2 and a double. 1, 2, double in the same 1, 1. That means we've got an increase, and then in the next one what we want to do is a double, and then another double, so we've got a chain 2 and a double, double, and then we want to do an increase. So we've got 2 in the same one is an increase, and then 1 on its own. So this is a repeat bit now. So in the next ones we have an increase and then a double times 6 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the way I remember this is the one on its own is always the multiple of 3. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, 13, 14 and 15, and then we've got 16, 17 and 18. And then again we want to slip stitch to the top, and that is the end of round 3. So at the moment it looks like that. Next we're on round 4, so the next one we are going to do a chain 2, then we're going to do a double, not in the same one, then we're going to do an increase, so 2 in the same one, there we go, sorry about that. And then we've got a double, and then an increase times 7. So that's 4 stitches times 7, so that's 28. So the 3rd and 4th will be the increase. So let's have a look. 1, 2, and then 3, 4 in the same one. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so 11 and 12 in the same one, 13, 14, oops, 14, and then 15, 16, this is the increase one. Then we've got 17, 18, and then 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24, then we've got 25, 26, sorry, and 27, 28. And then we've got slip stitch into the top of the chain again. There we go, that's the end of round 4. Next we've got round 5. Isn't it just, I love this yarn just because it's so colourful and vibrant. So the next one we're going to do a chain 2 and a DC in the same stitch. And then we've got double, double, double. So we've got 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3. And then this is the repeat bit next. So we've got an increase, double, double, double. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and then we've got 7, increase, not an increase, a repeat of 7, sorry. So it will go up to 35. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, that's the increase, and then 13, 14, 15, we have 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. Then we've got an increase, we've got 21, 22, 21, 22, 23, 24 and 25. We've got 26 and 27, so this is our increase. 26 and 27, 28, 29, oops, sorry, 29 and 30. And we've got 31, 32, 31, 32, 33, 34 and 35 in there, and slip stitch to the top. Now this is where we are not doing any more increases, so this is our straight rows now. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2 and then we're going to do 39 doubles. But to help me out here, I'm actually going to put a stitch marker so I don't need to count them. So we're going to do chain 2, and at the top of my chain 2 we're going to put the stitch marker, and then it should just be 39 stitches all the way round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oops, 16, 17, 18, 18, just turning it the right way in just because it helps me a little bit. 18, then we're on 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38 and 39. That is round 6 done. So now we're on round 7, which again is just 39 all round. Right, now what we're going to do is slip stitch back to the start. Do your normal chain 2. And then we are going to, oh, I'll put my stitch marker back in. And then, yeah, we just do the next round. So this is round 8. Now we're going to slip stitch into the chain. Chain 2. Now we are on round 9. I'm just going to try and turn this the right way in again, because it looks much nicer when it's actually sitting right. There we go, look at that, isn't it beautiful? So this is the last straight round. So we need 39 doubles. Right, and we are at the end of round 9. Got 2 more rounds to go, and then, yeah, so slip stitch, chain 2. Right, for the next 2 rounds we're going to do a slightly different version of a double. It's the same thing, it's the same way of making a double, but we're going to do front post, back post, front post, back post to give it a bit more texture. So to go through the front post, you literally insert the hook through the front of the stitch, the post, and then you carry on and you do your double per usual. Let me just pop my stitch marker in though, in there, so we know where to slip stitch to. So that's the front post, and then the next one, the back post, we're going to go behind the post and over it like this, and then continue the double as normal. And then we're going to do front post again, so in front, back post, go behind. So you want the post to be behind the hook. That's how I always remember it anyway. And then the front post, you want the post to be in front. Bear with me a second, that looks a bit straight. Yeah, in front, like this. Then behind, we're just alternating all the way around. And then in front. And then behind. And in front. And then we are at our slip stitch just in here. That is just a slip stitch, it's not actually a post. So let's get rid of that. Slip stitch into there. Chain 2, And then continue with your front post, back post, front post, back post. This is your last round. So in front, behind, and as you can probably just see, Folly Garden is the perfect amount of yarn for this hat. Right, next we need to just slip stitch and fasten off and then sew in some ends. So we've got a slip stitch, and fasten off. Ta-da! Perfect amount. Now I need to find a darning needle big enough for this yarn. But look at the texture that the front post back post creates. I love this texture. So let me just find my darning needle and I will back. So I have found my darning needles, but I'm not sure if the eyes are going to be big enough. So we're just going to have to risk it for a biscuit. Let's try that one. That one looks fairly big. I think that's probably the biggest one I've got. It's the only problem when you use a chunky yarn, I guess, isn't it? Threading this is going to be very interesting, is what I'll say. There we go. When there's a will, there's a way. That's what they say, right? So now I am going to just weave it in and out. In fact, I might actually go down this post here, just because it will hide it away from the edge, and I don't really like it when the ends show. And then once you've gone one way, go over it and then go back, because otherwise it could still pull out. Get your scissors and give it a nice little snip. Snip, snip. You could do an invisible fasten off, but I'm not very good at those, so I just do my usual. Then don't forget, you've got the end in the middle of your hat. So again, you need to just get your darning needle. I usually go through the magic ring stitches. So I go one way and then I go the other. So let's go this way, look. And then I'm going to go through this bit here, like that. And then when I go back the other way, I'm not going to go back through that bit. I'm going to leave that bit because that'll stop it from coming undone and going straight back through. And I'm going to go through this bit. I always try and go one way and then the other. Just to keep it nice and tight. And then snip it off, not too close to the end because it will loosen up a little bit when you give it a little tug. There we go, perfect. Put it the right way in and hey presto, you have your Folly Garden super chunky lovely hat. There we go.